Can you hear me now? I think I just fixed it. Automatic beats, can you hear me now? It's looking like it's coming through on the other end now. Hello, how you doing, Dakar? Dakar Tech? It's good? Okay. So yeah, I updated OBS and it disconnected the settings I had already set up. So earlier I had to change my display so it picks up my monitor and stuff. Okay. All good. So as people start rolling in here, I'm not sure if Max is done yet or not. Looks like he is. So what I was gonna do, I was gonna go through some of these old videos and see, where the container started and then where it's at now. So Max V Raid. So that's kind of what I was thinking I could do, because I've never done this live at home, but I figured we'd just go through some of this old stuff here and talk about it. You guys can ask questions about what I did and why. Frogman Jafar, General Max Raid. Yep, so that's why I figured we'd just, I'm not going to play any sound. I don't know if the sound will work. Like I said, I've never done OBS here. Never done live here from home, so we'll see if this works. The project is on track. Yeah, project's done, dude. So yeah, I figured let's start at the beginning, talk about the container, skip all these commercials and stuff here, and then yeah, just look at what the container was. It's, come on, commercials, come on. So as you can see, this container we got, it was a 45 footer. And what they did is the 45 foot they added on the edge. So this edge part, this ending here, they added that on. So it's a normal 40 foot and they added 2.5 foot on one side. And as you can see on the other side, they added 25 foot. And this thing was rough, but it was cheap, a lot cheaper than what we got later on. So this is what it started out as. Look at, rusty, crappy, bent to hell. It was a mess. And so yeah, that's what it started off as. The inside, inside was a little bit better. Actually, the floor is really good. The floor ended up being really good, so we didn't have to do anything with the floor, which is probably a godsend, because we had to put tile down or something down. That would have been a mess. But we had to, but the container itself, the sides were really beat up. So yeah, that's what it started off as. So we'll go back here to kind of like the next video. So there I started building a little office, got that done. We'll go here to day 4 and 5. So there's the office I was building. Right now that thing is really hot, so that office is really, really hot during the summer here, because it was a cheap one. I didn't need anything special, didn't want to go too crazy with it. So it's really hot now. It'll be fine here for the fall and the winter, and then we'll see. We have a couple things we can do to change it later. No, I don't have AC. No. So I got there this morning at 9 o'clock. No, it was 9:30. I got there at 9:30, and it was 82 degrees in the car on the drive over there, and then the office was already at 91 degrees when I walked in there at 9:30. It was bad. It was really bad. So it's supposed to cool down overnight. It's supposed to be high of 80 going forward here. So I think going forward it'll be hot a little bit, but not too crazy. And I'm just gonna kind of suck it up. We're not doing AC. We have a exhaust fan we put in and intake and stuff, and I'll show that in later videos. But I'm just gonna roll with it during the winter, and then next spring we can do a couple things to try to keep it up. So as you can see on this one, I cut the bottom. And this is before we actually got temp electrical out there, and then we started using a plasma torch, and that was a godsend. I never used the plasma torch. My business partner did, but that made straight lines that were cleaner and much, much faster. So that really sped up everything we did. So there's me talking about the office. And oh yeah, here's like the vent. Where was it? Yeah, so we use this for the intake, and so we put it in the bottom corner here. We put the intake right there. So yeah, that got better. But yeah, the container, you know, there's, you know, me trying to cut it, and that took forever. That was a whole day. And you can see actually where we had the sides cut, and so before we cut the top, he put the what do you call them? Put these up here so we could raise the canopy up and have that as our canopy or our awning. So we raised the sides up to be the canopy. So yeah, so that was the next thing. And then I think after we did that, so there was us more working on the side. And then where did we paint it? I think I painted it here. So this looks like the next video. Nope. So this is prep for paint. You can see we kind of prepped cover all the rust and stuff. So there's where we finished the sides. So he actually looks like the top's cut right there. You can see I'm wearing a sweatshirt. It was still cold out when we were doing that. So yep. So there's where we cut the sides. And then so here's like a big step. So there's a long time there in between. So we got the painted, and I started working on the shelves after you painted. So these shelves are actually, they were awesome. They're still awesome. I'll pause it there. The shelves, I actually found, these shelves. They were $800 for all of it. And there's 15 racks, 15 of them, and we have 7 or 8 shelves on each rack. So what is that? 84. I think it was 7. So 84 shelves. And they're 18 inches deep. And so you can put an ASIC on there. You still have some space. I don't know if you've seen some of my newer pictures with ASIC sitting on there. There's some space to play. But yeah, that was really good to where we could, have the shelving, have space there. These shelves, they're like the perfect height to where we have just enough play at the top, but we could fit 7 shelves in. That was a big deal to actually get to 7 shelves. So that was great. The shelving itself was pretty good. Once we got everything on there, we had to kind of joist it up a little bit to make sure it wasn't going anywhere, but it's rock solid. Okay, let me look at chat here, guys. Crypto Craig, Second TL's here. Scott Sheffield, 105. Yeah, we just had 3 straight days of 90 plus, which is hot for Iowa. It's humid though. I mean, it's just brutal out. It's actually supposed to be down like 78, 80 for the high here the next couple weeks. So that's really good. Kilabasa, thanks for the quick response about my question of ASIC hosting. The game plan's to hold right now until the market dump. After this market dump, we're going to take a 2-week vacation, see where we're at. Yeah, no, that's the cool part where you guys can actually just email, and I'm the one that responds. And I get back to those pretty quick. Even though I just had a text right before I went live here with the client. So I don't, Kiobasa, I don't remember exactly which email, which person you were, but I know I've responded to quite a few. So yeah, we'll talk in a couple weeks. I know everything right now with everything going down to 50. I think I went sub 50 there for a couple minutes. Now it's at 56. Is that what I just looked at? Yeah, 56, give or take. So yeah, it'll come back up. But yeah, it was a little scary there. Hi everyone. You early or I late? No, I was early. JFA. Max was getting tired. He was getting sleepy. So he wanted to go early, and then I said 10's great for me with my kids, and so I wanted to make sure that I had to go early because they go to bed like right at 10. So I sent him to bed a couple minutes early. So he went early. Yep. Shelves are screwed on the floor. So yes, we'll go back to the shelves here. So this I wasn't done at the point. So they're actually screwed down on the floor, and you can see right here. You see this little metal part right here. That is on every single, footing, and so that screws into the floor. And then actually on the top, we actually have it screwed to the container I think every two posts, screwed to the container, and so it's rock solid. That thing's not going anywhere. The shelves themselves are some of them are kind of bent. They're not perfect. Like I said, I got them for $800 for the entire thing. So we've noticed that some of them are bent. What at some point when I'm completely filled or getting that close, where I have 4 on each one of these shelves, I can fit 4 ASICs on each of these shelves. Well, I have to maybe bend the shelf or figure out something a little bit different at that point, maybe for some of them, but not all of them. Most of them are pretty good, but there's a couple that are kind of bent. But it'll get us there, and then I can figure out just the very end part if I have to change anything. But even then, depending on what ASICs are there, if it's like S19J Pros or L7s, or any of the Ice Rivers, all those, their size, I have enough play there to where I don't have to be perfect getting them on the shelf. Where S21 Pros are actually, they're like a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch bigger each. They're wider. I can't fit 4 on one shelf. I can only fit like 2 or 3, and then like an Ice River or J Pro or K Pro or something. So there I have to kind of play a little bit. So that might have to just where I have to play a little bit, where I have to move a couple around just to make it work. So automatic beats, be greedy when others are fearful. Yes. Kiabasa, 4 KSMs. Yep. KS3Ms. Yep. So actually, let me grab, I have a spreadsheet with all the profitabilities and stuff. You guys know me. I always have spreadsheets. Actually, this is the wrong one. Let me grab the correct one here. Crap, I had to open in a different window. Okay, so let me cover this up. Okay. All right, so this is Bitcoin, obviously. And this is at my hosting rate, and this is the price right now. And the reward, I don't have it automatically. This is actually what I've been seeing. So that's not very good right now for Bitcoin. The only thing profitable is the S21 Pro, and that's pretty tough. I'm sorry about the flashbang, guys. Okay, Caspa. So Caspa, hopefully you guys can see this. So pretty much the only ones I'm looking at, KSLs, KS5Ls, KS5Ms. Actually, let's add in your KS3M. So we'll spread this down. There you go. So you're actually at my rate, you're making $100 a month. This is a monthly on that KS3M. So that's the current price, current reward. So I have this automatically being generated. And yeah, this one was something I grabbed once. So yeah, so technically right now you're still making money in the KS3Ms, even with the crapping of the market. Even the KS5Ls are still making $425 a month. It's not bad. So yeah. Okay, so we'll get back here to kind of the next step. Power rates are killing me right now. Even at commercial rates in Michigan, it's all the add-on fees that hurts. Less power, cut back, increase the overall kilowatt per hour price. Yeah, so I mean it's everywhere. Luckily, where I'm at, it's actually been pretty even on pricing. They haven't changed up and down with all this the last couple of years, and they actually have a coal plant not too far from me. My dad actually used to work there. They're running less than 50% capacity, because in our area, the company that I have power through has a lot of those windmills you see and stuff, and that they have a lot huge wind farms, and so that's a good chunk of it. There is some hydro it doesn't necessarily feed my power company, but there's hydro around. But my company, they're pretty big into the wind, and so like the coal plant, it's less than 50% capacity. So yeah, it's much better for us. But yeah, yeah, let me know what you're thinking in 2 weeks. But right now, your KS3Ms are still profitable at 10 cents. You know, $100 a month is, you know, at least they're still paying themselves off. You know, do that before the hash rate gets too high, because the hash rate's not going to go down. Yeah, it won't go down. Even with this falling back, people aren't going to turn off. So, yeah, let me know what you want to do. Okay, so that's kind of the shelving, and this is like my video starting it, but I really wanted to show you, like, you know, that last video with everything red, and then now, you know, with the white, how much better it looks. That was, and it matches the building too. That was pretty cool. It's not exactly what the building is, but it's pretty damn close. So then it looks like it's meant to be there a little bit. Kind of blends in a little bit more. I mean, yeah, that was a big deal. So us painting it was awesome. And you can start seeing where we started doing the rubber over the canopy. And yeah, so there's the other side. This is kind of before we raised the other side up. These posts over here is what we used to hold up the canopy. So, I mean, like, just looking at that, how big of a change it was. And then on this side, the gap in the bottom here. So what we end up doing is we had this original orange line, and the tenants in this building here, they wanted a little more room, because they sometimes use this cooler door room. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they get in there with not a forklift, but like one of the handheld jacks, where it's like a forklift, but it's handheld with a jack. So they need room to play there with some pallets. And so we gave them an extra foot by cutting it off, and we didn't have to change anything on our end. And so that ended up working. You know, we ended up cutting it just a little bit. And this is the exhaust side, so it wasn't that big of a deal for us to lose a foot there. So, so yeah, that worked out. And then that's pretty much that step. So next part, oh yeah, this is the rain test. That was kind of the big deal. Everyone was talking about how it was going to hold up in the rain and that kind of stuff. And so this is, you can see the shelving's almost there. We get the hog wire in, part of it in, and then, you know, we got a bunch of rain, and there was like a couple little spots that we had to shore up. But like this, it wasn't done then. We actually had all the rubber and stuff up above, but we weren't 100% sealed yet. You know, that was just, we were still working on stuff when it rained. And so it having very little water in here during a good rain, I think at the end of this video I show like when it was really coming down hard when I was standing out there. And we just had a couple drops, and we weren't even sealed up yet. So we've had, since we've been up and running, we had one really good storm with like 70-mile-per-hour winds, and it did knock the power out for a little bit, but actually it came back on pretty quick. And yeah, so it made it through that storm just fine. So I know me and my partner actually went out at 12:30 at night right after the storm rolled through, because I had to reset a couple, or not reset, but I had to restart a couple ASICs, because when I reset it with Foreman, it didn't work. So then I had to just do it manually. And so when I left at 1:30, everything was up and running after that storm. But yeah, me and my partner went out there at 12:30. We're texting at midnight. Crap, this thing's bad. And he lived closer to the container, and he said it was the worst storm he's seen in a while in his area. And so we knew the container, we actually saw on our cameras that the container actually, the cameras turned off. So we knew power got shut off, or internet, or both, or whatever. And so we ran out there at 12:30 at night, get everything back on. So that's kind of the benefit of us being this close. Us being this close to where we could go out there and, you know, take care of stuff. And so, yeah, that was one of the rain tests we had while we were building it. Here's what the canopy kind of looks like after. So there's kind of us having it pitched up. And so we did that, you know, and it looks way better from what it looked in those early weeks. And I will say, when we were doing the container at first, we're cutting sides up. My partner was welding those brackets at the top. At that point, the question in our head was, what the hell are we doing? That question came up. So you know, once we got to like this point, we're like, oh, we can see the end game, and so that was pretty cool to see. Like, okay, you know, this is coming together. It's what we thought it would be. You know, I kind of knew that because you know, this kind of was kind of my design, and then my business partner, the handy guy, you know, that knows how to do all the welding and do all this. He changed a couple things to make it either cleaner or easier or cheaper or whatever the case. And so once we got to this part, it was like, okay, we're there. We can see the end game here. We got this figured out. So it was pretty nice to kind of get to that point. Yeah, so this is on the exhaust side. So yeah, and then the electrical. So we'll talk electrical. So in this in these switch panels here, that's the reason we went there. Let me look at here. Okay, Kia Boss, 3 years ago I leased a warehouse for lower commercial rates. Now these commercial rates are the same as my residential rates were 3 years ago. Yeah, I've heard of that in areas. Like I said, thankfully here that's not a problem. But yeah, I know some areas where it's that is the case. They've gone up, you know, 25%, 50%, depending on where you're at. Okay, Crypto Craig. Anyone complain about noise? No. And actually, we're going to do a couple more things. I'll talk about that. A couple more things to prevent the noise. But the building, can I see this other building behind here? Where these other guys are at? Let's see if I turn around here oh, yep. Okay, so that building there, those are young guys. They're really cool, and they it's like a woodworking place in there, so they're making plenty of noise and stuff. So when you're standing out at this big door, you can barely hear the container right now because the way it bounces in between the building and the container and stuff. And we're going to do a little bit more to prevent it a little bit more. But not do anything with the air. I just read your message, Crypto Craig. But yeah, so far no complaints on the noise, and actually we found out there is nothing on file with the city about noise. There's no limit, no different levels or parameters you have to fall into. Because we're industrial, there's nothing on board that we have to change or fall into, so we don't have to worry about it at all. So fully electric, I did not receive a bill. Let me check. So I'm pretty sure you're alphabetically, you're one of the first ones on my list, so I would have done yours, and you should have got one on the first. I have it set up so it should auto send. Doesn't mean I did it right, so let me check after and send it to you. I do know most of my auto sends went out because people paid me. So let me see yours specifically. Maybe I didn't click the box, or I just didn't do yours, or whatever the case. So thank you. I appreciate you saying something, but I'll check that here right afterwards. Crypto Craig, can I show the video of you tripping over the pipe? Yeah, I'll grab it. I better do it now while people are actually wondering what the heck it is. Okay, so these pipes here, when they were all done, here we go. That's a good picture. So these pipes, this conduit, so this is, you know, there's different levels of what they have to be and so forth, and they have to be so strong and certain thickness and blah 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 blah. So yeah, let me find that video in Discord. My wife still laughs at me about it. Okay, now can I? You know what? We're just gonna do it the old easy way. Okay. All right. So this is from our camera, and so this is me. I'm walking here. Yep. Get up, wondering what the heck just happened. How the heck? Because I've climbed over that thing 100 times, just like I did in the picture, and didn't fall. Yeah. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah. Yep. So we did all the electrical, and then yeah, so electrical goes in here in the corner. You guys are awful. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Okay, so let's see. I did skip over one here. The exhaust wall. So it was a good. I think my I sent it to Hawk right after I did it, and my message to him was I ran out of athleticism. It was my shoes? No, it was all me. So what happened was I had an ASIC giving me a hard time, and so I reset it, put it in the container. I was walking back to the office to look at it, and I was thinking, what's going on with the what's going on with the ASIC itself, and what do I need to do next if this doesn't fix it or something. So am I a little delayed? You know what I'm just thinking, because I played that like a minute ago. I might have to change the delay on this. I think I'm a little delayed. So okay, I'll keep going here. Well, you can tell me if I'm delayed or not. So on this exhaust wall, so I was having a problem with the foam when I was cutting it to cut it open for the ASICs. It was just making a mess. We figured that out. We got past it. We had this gap in the bottom fixed and all perfect. It's not how hard you fall, it's how quick you get up. Yes. Yeah. For me, it just said delayed. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I've climbed over that thing 100 times. I don't know how I fell, but I just caught my foot. Just leg didn't go as high as I thought I raised it. But okay, so on this exhaust wall, so we figured out the foam. Foam's actually pretty good now that we can cut it without making a huge mess. Got that figured out. We got the bottom plugged, which during the winter we'll actually unplug some of it to let some of that warm air kind of rotate through. Also on the bottom. So this is more of a problem in the winter. We don't want a bunch of air to come out and go underneath the container and come back up the other side, because there's a little, you can see where the dirt is here. It flows underneath the container, which is fine. It flows away from the building. It flows away from the container. It's all good. 30 seconds. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a setting. This is the first time I've ever been live on my computer, so I'll have to, I think I know where that is. I'll have to check it and then change it next time. So, so yeah, we didn't want the air to rotate through. And it's not that big of a deal now because we're not filled all the way up. But next summer, it'll be a huge deal. You don't want that hot air being recirculated at all. You want it to only suck in, 85, 90 degree air. You don't want to suck in 110, 115 that's getting recirculated. So what we did, and this is actually that building across the parking lot from us, those woodworking guys, one of the guys actually brought it up to me, and he said, why don't you put like a rubber mat and just lay it over the side so it lays flush to the ground. And our problem was we were going to put like tin or something there, but it wouldn't let the water run. If we left a gap, it would still let a gap for the air, but we wanted to let the water run. If the water piles up there, that's not a good thing. So he thought about this rubber mat, and it actually has worked perfect because we've had some good storms since we put it up. And so the mat sits flush against the ground, and the water will just push underneath the mat. It is perfect. And so it's simple, it's cheap. We put it up in like 10 minutes. It was, great. And so that's what we did on this side to prevent the water or to allow the water through and to prevent the air from recirculating. And so right now, it's not a bad problem, but it's going to be, it's a problem that's fixed for next winter or next summer. So that's really, really good for us. So that's something we did with the Canopy. The foam wall is great. We have it all pretty well blocked in. You can see the hog wire. We have that all set up and welded. I mean, yeah, this side looks really good now. Yeah, and we had to cut these yellow things. The reason why we had to cut the tops off is so when we raised the canopy up, it could clear. It wasn't clearing if we didn't cut the tops off, so we had to cut that off. my partner did that. He's got the tools to do it. He said it was a nightmare, but he was able to get through it. But yeah, that turned out really well. Yeah, but this exhaust wall is doing exactly what we thought. It's doing exactly what we were hoping for. So, yeah. Okay, where are we at? So Canopy, we did electrical. So that was me in the shed. So then we pulled all the wire. So this is after we pulled all the wire. Yeah, so here's just after we pulled all the wire, and they actually landed all that now, and obviously because we're up and running, but that's what it looks like before it's all landed. Have that all cleaned up. People don't realize in this wire, each of it's like 50 pounds, each one of these, and there's 6 going to each of these. So there's 6 wires. I mean, it's just insane how much weight, how much that is. So that was that. The shelf's pretty much done. I think the shelf's up here, but it actually isn't. We didn't have it locked in place yet. Yeah, so that's the wire. And then here's pretty much when it was done. So we have it. Yeah, here's where I started hosting. There's my first two ASICs. There's a filter wall. We clean that up. We end up going a little bit different. The filter wall was a little bit different plan than what I was thinking. So this, we actually got filter that was, I think it was 5 feet wide. So then we only needed one at the bottom, one at the top, because we had like 8 feet, a little over 8 feet to cover. So we did 5 and 5, so we had some left over. My plan was to do, it was 4. It was like 30 inches. So that we had to use 4 to cover it. And so this is my business partner thought that. And actually, the way this is kept up there, the channels on the siding, on like the edges, there's like little channels that it's just like a U that and it's just a little strip that's only like 3 inches, 2 inches long, or 2 inches wide. And so we just ran that at the top, and then one at the middle facing up, one at the middle facing down, and then one at the bottom facing up. And so we can put the filter in there, and then have like the little circular sticks. I forgot the hell they're called, and wrap as you can see right here in the corner, you wrap the filter around it and stick it in there, into the little U, the little gap, and that holds the filter in. And we added a screw after the fact just to keep it in place, just to be a little more safe. But yeah, I mean, that was simple and easy, and we can put them up in 10 minutes. We could swap filters in 10 minutes. It's pretty simple. So that was my business partner. That was his idea. Mine was to do like a sandwich, put wood like on the end, and a quarter of the way, halfway, quarter of the way, halfway at the end. And so you pull the filter across it, and then you sandwich it in, at the ends and the quarter in the middle. And so that was my plan. He didn't like that as much. So this plan he did. Filter's a little more expensive, but it's probably a little bit better quality filter. And it's so far been great. It was a great idea. So yeah, that was that wall. This is, I did something on this side. My partner actually ended up changing this out. You can see the inside where we started doing all the PDUs. Let me go back here. So there's, me doing the networking and the beginning of the PDUs. I finished that all up, and yeah, I mean, we're getting closer to being ready to go. And so actually these two ASICs, actually they weren't the first ones I hosted. Those are actually 2 I put on there just to make sure networking worked and the power and everything, everything looked good, everything finished. So yeah, and then so I think this is, let me see here where this was in the part. If you guys got questions, throw them at me. I'm looking at chat, so just throw whatever questions you guys got at me. Yeah, go for it. Okay, so here, yep, so this is me still doing networking. And be honest, doing the networking part, that took forever. Just to do it right, and I labeled all the ends of the wires. It took a while. It wasn't overly hard, but it was like it was 90 degrees out when I was doing it, so I'm just in there sweating like crazy. But yeah, I mean, we had pretty much stuff done there. It's the old filter I did. Maybe we might use that during the winter when we don't need as much filter. There's the first ASICs I got hosted, so like those showed up early. But yeah, this is when we're kind of finishing up, getting everything kind of dialed in, and getting ready to go. And then yeah, that was pretty much it. Here's like my opening video talking about everything. I don't really show much there, so I won't show that one. But yeah, here's kind of the end point. This is when it was all done. I got all cleaned up. We've changed a couple little things from there, but nothing too crazy. And figure out better ways to do some things. That's a T21 right there with an alpha miner power supply on it, so it can run on 277. And actually, that client sent me 2 more, so I have 3 T21s right now running on that alpha miner, and they've been really good. And he has it. We're actually using the Epic boards on it, so we actually have a down clock right now, and we're gonna overclock it when it gets a little cooler out, and so we can overclock those. So that's what we're doing, or he's doing, and I'm just running it and hosting it for him. But yeah, there's the kind of the finished product, guys. I mean, look, like we didn't really do anything with the floor. As you can see, the floor looks still really good. Got the filter wall up. I mean, like it came together really well. It's really exciting when my plan actually ended up working out. So that's pretty cool. Okay, it says the bit rate is low. I don't know how to change that though. Let's see here. What's this? Yeah, that doesn't give me anything. It's the same thing I was just looking at. Okay, so guys, just send me some questions here. The rest of these videos just me turning on more stuff. I got, I don't know if you guys want to talk about profitability, if you guys want to talk about different things I ran into, different issues, you want to talk about specific things with the container, kind of whatever you guys want to talk about, just throw my way here, and we can chat about it. I haven't seen anyone post anything for a while. Did I miss it? No, I don't think so. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to go through kind of highway mining from start to finish. Right now we're at, what am I at, 29 ASICs. I got 1 showing up Thursday, or I'm sorry, 1 showing up Wednesday, 7 showing up Thursday, a couple more people waiting on, a couple of them they're going to send my way. I got also a couple people that probably would have ordered by now, but with the thing with the market going down so much yesterday, they're kind of waiting. As Kiabasa talked about earlier, get people like him that are just right on the edge of doing something, and then now they're kind of in a hold pattern. So yeah, any questions, anything, guys? Anything you want to talk about? The one thing I didn't talk about in this video is just, if you look at we put up the sides on the Canopy, that helped greatly. And we're gonna add a little bit more for sound. We're gonna add a little bit more on the exhaust side. So let's go to the exhaust side here. I don't need to see Hulu. Okay, so on the exhaust side, so there's a wall here on this end. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're actually put up little walls here at where these posts are. Maybe not every one, or maybe just a couple, just to keep the sound from escaping through this gap right here to my right, at the far right here. It'll keep the sound down a little bit, and it won't affect the exhaust because it's not blocking. We're not putting a wall straight across. We're putting a wall going with the wind, going with the air, but it won't allow the the sound to escape. It'll make it go straight into the building. And so that's what that's something we're gonna add. That was on the original design, just kind of like little fins to keep the air going and keep the sound going straight, instead of the sound being able to escape off the sides just past where the wall is. So that's something we're gonna add. It's not, like I said, not a big deal right now. It could be and probably will be when there's 200, 300 ASICs in there. So cryptocurrency. Yeah, that'll be good, and that'll help us keep sound on. Exactly, and that's my partner. That's his. That was his idea. It's pretty easy to do. We're just gonna do some tin just to keep, just to deflect the sound away from escaping there. It's like I said, it's not that bad, but just to do what we can and do what we can cheaply, and to keep people happier longer and so forth. So that means it's not, it's not expensive. Just make a little frame, put some tin up on it, connect it to that post. It's nothing crazy. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Probably do 1 or 2 of them. Maybe we'll add onto the wall here at the end. So what's the plan for future build outs? Right now, nothing. Actually, we can talk about, so when this thing gets filled up, then that'll be a good problem to have, that this thing's filled, and what's our next step. So that's right now the goal. Right now, the only thing we're really focused on is working out these little kinks with this build, and then filling it up. If it gets filled up, then like I said, we've had some options approached to us. We want to get from Iowa, we want to get into South Dakota, a little bit better rate on our end, and then that opens up options for us, what we do, for clients and so forth. And so, we're keeping our eye open, but we got to get this thing paid off. We got to get this thing filled up and making money, and then me and my partner will be very happy. And then, like I said, don't have a good problem of what's our next step. And so that's our only goal right now. One thing we talked about, and this is, like I said, my partner's the really handy one. I showed him the blueprint, and he put this, he did most of this work. And what we're going to, if we did this again, as long as the land didn't force us to do a container, we'd actually, if we had like flat surface to play with, we'd actually pour a pad, 6 inches or 8 inches above the ground. So we'd pour the pad, and then we'd actually just use like these this metal, and actually make the canopy and put tin on the top, instead of using a container and doing that. So we'd actually kind of just make like a little building that doesn't have the sides on it, and just make it ourselves. You could do it cheaper, and you can control it, and you won't have the problems that we run into where stuff's bent, stuff's not lining up, or we're making something work. We can just build it from the ground up, just using metal and putting tin over the top. And then you have your cement pad that's above the ground. You just put your container, or put your shelving on there, and you can make it just a little bit bigger or whatever, but you have more control and make it the way you want it by doing it that way. Excuse me. And so that's, if we did it again, we'd probably do that. It'd look very similar, but we'd build it for ourselves from the ground up, instead of starting with a container and then making the container work. So that's what he if he did it again, that's the way he'd do it, because it'd just be easier. You're working with a blank canvas instead of a container that's already sitting there. You have to make fit. So, but like the PDUs are great, the layout's great. What we're doing with the networking and all that's good. The canopy's working great with water and that kind of stuff in the storms. If we build it that way, we can maybe more enclose the exhaust side, so it's a little bit easier to keep sound off and stuff. And so we could just make stuff a little bit better, and we can make it a little bit cleaner and cheaper. So that's that. If we did it again, that's what he'd want to do, as long as we have the area to work with. If we did it again, we wouldn't just do one. We'd want to do like 2, at least 2 containers to make it worth it. And then at that point, then we have to worry about setting them up far enough apart and that kind of stuff. So, or do you set them up, next to each other the long way? We do something different. But if we build it ourselves, we don't have to set them up next to each other. We just make the building longer. That fixes that problem. So depends on where we're at, depends on what area we would have to work with. Is how we kind of figure it out. So how many till filled? Well, I'm at 29 with 6 or 7 showing up or 7 or 8 showing up this week. We can hold 390, so we got ways to go. What end up, and this is probably my fault, I had a lot of people saying they wanted some. The problem is them saying they want some, and then when the time comes and you tell them, okay, we got to do this, and here's the price, and here's the ASIC, and it's making this much, and so forth. Not everyone then is ready to fork out the money, and so there's a lot of people interested, but not everyone just wants to pull the trigger. And it doesn't help when Bitcoin goes up and down so drastically. So yeah, that's getting past that is us geeks here. We're always adding more and more and more. But a lot of the clients I run into, they're not as knowledgeable as us on all this, and so they get scared more easily and are more afraid of the volatility than we are. And so it's just getting them past that to where, okay, you want to do this. I know you want to do this. You've asked me tons of questions. Let's just pull the trigger. Let's get it going. And in 3 or 5 years, you're gonna be loving that you did it. Let's get it started. So I have a lot of local people that are gonna order about 10 S21 Pros, and they were gonna order it last weekend or this past weekend, and then Sunday happened. And so now they're like, let's just wait here. So, it's a lot of that. A lot of people just on the fence. And if, Bitcoin starts taking off, then we're going to fill it faster. So, yeah, but right now with Caspa, I showed you guys that spreadsheet I was looking at. Sorry for the flashbang, but, Caspa still, you're still making quite a bit of money per month per machine. And yeah, these machines are more expensive, but with the price going down and stuff, I mean they're still good. And what people aren't talking about is like the Dogecoin miners. These things have always been good, and even like these L7s are still making money. Even with things being not very good right now. So I have someone looking to get a bunch of L9s. So these have always been profitable, way more than the Bitcoin miners and stuff. So, yes, Bitcoin's way down right now, really far down, but, there's other options out there. So it's the people that aren't as knowledgeable, they don't know about these other coins, or they don't trust it, or they're even farther off knowledge base of where they need to be on, should I buy this or not? So yeah. Yeah, ask away, guys. What other questions? Do you guys got? I'm trying to think here. Anything else in these videos? Nothing else here. So, this is kind of AMA time, guys. So ask me questions on the container. Ask me questions on hosting. Ask me questions on, ASICs or whatever. Actually, I can show this. I want to flashbang you guys again, so I apologize for this. This is a spreadsheet I've been keeping. So this goes all the way back to the beginning of March with pool comparisons. So this is all Bitcoin mining stuff. So nice hash, ViaBTC, Brains, and then actually I have Luxor, and then I added Wilson mining, and that's part of the SBI crypto. So they actually use SBI crypto. So I kept these numbers, and so this is back in March. But like the more recent numbers are what we care about more. And so I need to get nice hash numbers from Panda. I haven't got, he has his stuff on nice hash. I have to get his stuff. But yeah, so this is Brains. So Brains has been pretty good. Them and Luxor are pretty much the best. They've been tight. As long as you have either Brains software and you're on Brains pool, or you have LuxOS and you're on Luxor pool, seems to be very, very good. The SBI crypto, which is also, like I said, Wilson's kind of running it, they were really, really good there for a long time, and it dropped off here recently. And so, so yeah, that's you know, it's something to keep in mind. I actually have one of my clients. He actually was on ViaBTC, but he was on PPLNS, and actually this month, or 3.5 weeks here, ViaBTC on PPLNS beat everything else. It was actually higher. So that's an option to be, instead of the FPPS it's straight lined. You're going to get paid the same pretty much every day, and you can see all these numbers here. This is Brains and Luxor are on FPPS. I mean, so it's pretty much the same. It goes up and down just a little bit. But he was on PPLNS, so he had some kind of crappy days. He was way behind on this day, but then like on this day he's way ahead, and so in this day he was even farther ahead, and so that might not be an option, or might be an option to do if you're on one of the bigger pools doing PPLNS. So, and NiceHash wasn't bad. It was always just a touch behind. But yeah, and I had like one really bad day here, and I'm not sure why that was on NiceHash. But yeah, so that's something else I've been keeping in mind. So sorry about the flashbang, guys. Curious, how long did it take you to finish the container? I got no brains. I lost them. How long did it take me to finish? So the first video here, day one, was 3 months ago, and I'm pretty sure it was the day after my birthday. So pretty sure that was April 11th. And so we actually went live here on the 8th of July. So just under 3 months to finish it. Yeah, just under 3 months was start to finish. And we could have pushed that up a little bit. My partner went on vacation, where he actually had a job out of town. So he was gone for 10 days out of town. And we could have got the electrical put in faster. But even then, we gave ourselves time there to then finish up little stuff. So we were finishing up little stuff. We had 98% of it done when we turned on July 8th. So actually, yeah, July 8th was our original start date. So, oh man, what is the biggest surprise with the new container? I don't know if I had big surprises. I really don't. And because in Crypto Craig knows this, guys. I quizzed him on this more than a year ago, on ideas, designs, networking, power stuff. I mean, I had been thinking about this for a long time, so we did not run into any big surprises that we had to change our design or change what we were doing or thinking or whatever. It actually came together very, very well. Our biggest holdup was the shelving, because we had like no room to play. And so once we found that shelving that was perfect, we jumped on it instantly. And so us finding that saved us. If we had to make something or do something ourselves, like that would have been bad. But us finding that shelving really saved us. Excuse me, guys. Power came together pretty well. The PDUs end up being great. They took forever to get here, but other than that, they were good. There was no real big surprises, thankfully. But that was just because I had been thinking about it for so long, and seeing what other people did, other designs, and then a lot of measuring, a lot of going back and forth. I know before we started it, especially on the shelving part, me and my business partner, I think it was 2 straight weeks of going back and forth on sizing, layout, and how we're gonna, just how we're gonna lay it out and stuff. That was big. Just making sure it all fit like we thought it would, and it did. And part of it was that 45-foot container, that it was 5 feet wider, and so that just gives us a little more room on each side to play with. That it's not jam tight. We have a little bit more room to play with. We can add in, just a little bit wider on the shelving, and the PDUs lined up a little bit better. Like everything it came out just a little bit better because we had that extra 5 feet. So that was, I wouldn't say a surprise, but it ended up being a nice little blessing that we had talked about and planned and thought would be best for us. So, so yeah. From the hosting standpoint, nothing's been surprised yet. That's all gone pretty smoothly. I actually got some good news today that my clients are going to be very happy about. So I'll be telling them that here, help them out a little bit, but everything on that end's been going great. Yeah, the hosting's all that paperwork, everything else, that's all come together pretty well, and not being overly hard on my end, being very clean and easy for my clients. I mean, that's all come together like I was hoping. So there's no surprises. We haven't found any surprises, thankfully. Win bull run, win 150K BTC. Oh man. Is it Christmas time? Is that a lot? It's always summertime, I thought. So what are we looking at next spring when we have the bull run starts? Isn't that what it was last time? It was April and then August again or something like that was the two tops. So yeah, one's 150K Bitcoin. I think 150K is, I think it's in the picture. I think that's I think 125 is probably the safe bet. I think 150K is doable. Yeah, so I'm thinking January, February. January, February, it'll start going up is what I think. But as I tell people and I tell my clients, it's not a overnight thing. This is let me fix my camera. I didn't realize my camera's higher. This is a 5-year plan. So Santa needs to come through. I hope so. I mean, the faster the bull run starts, the better off I am. Like I said, I'd be very happy if I have a problem of I don't have enough spaces. That'd be a very, very, very good problem to have. So yeah, 115K. Crypto Craig, me and you were spot on for after the halving what the hash rate drop was. Me and you were spot on, right between that 10-15% mark. So yeah. But I want to get rich quick. I know. I think it was actually my dad the other day. I was talking to him about profitability of these ASICs, about these Casper ASICs, and he's like, it costs how much? And I said, it's around $5,000 for the KS50. I was like, it was around $5,000 for this, and it makes, at the time, it was making like $600 a month. And he's like, well, that doesn't seem very good. That takes 8 months to pay off. I go, what anything else do you think of that takes 8 months to pay itself off? He's like, oh yeah, good point. It's still a long game, but there is some good things out there. So I only say one top this bull run. The last time it was because of COVID and government injected tons of free money. Actually, I think the last time was because of China banning BTC. Because that COVID money was more in the beginning. It was all the way through, and the China ban dropped the momentum that was going, and so I think that's what caused it. Actually, are you going to the mining conference in Minnesota next month? So I got invited. I think before the container, I got invited to it. Because he knew on YouTube and me being from Iowa, he knew I wasn't that far away, so I got invited to it. No, I'm not going. I have kids in school and I pick them up and drop so I have a lot going on, so I can't just bail for a weekend or a couple of days during the week or whatever. I got too much going on. So if you had $5K to spend on an ASIC, what would you get? Ooh, that's a good question. So let me flashbang you guys again. Let me get this spreadsheet back up here. So we're talking about the KS5L and actually the pros, they're 4,600 now. And that might change. I haven't looked today. That was as of yesterday. So pretty much, am I going to get an S21 Pro? Or am I going to get a KS5L? These aren't quite down to the $5,000 mark. So which one would I get? Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know if it was me. I already have 9 or 10 BTC ASICs. Okay, I have K Pros. I have a bunch of 110 terahash K Pros. If it was me, I'd be getting a KS5L just to diversify. That'd be what I would do today. My brother-in-law, who he's heard of Bitcoin, but he doesn't know anything past that. He just know he's heard of Bitcoin. He got an S21 Pro. I told him to get an S21 Pro because, as I told him, it's long game. He just wants to get Bitcoin and have it in his name. So it kind of depends where you're at. Me already having Bitcoin miners. If Bitcoin goes high, then I have plenty of miners to make the money off of. So I would diversify and get a KS5L. And if you're just looking at the paper, right now it's $26 for profitability on the S21 Pro. The KS5L is making me $423. Now we all know, us here that are in this every day. Yeah, we know that that's not going to happen. That's not going to stay there. Caspa's going to, is going to go up in hash rate. The problem is, even if it doubles in hash rate, it gets well over 1 exahash. It's still making $200 a day. So that's still, or $200 a month. That's still pretty good. So yeah, I'd probably be leaning towards Ice River. If you know both and you're okay with both Bitcoin or Caspa, probably the KS5L is probably the better bet. Get that thing paid off faster. And I had someone order it. What was it, Friday? His is showing up Thursday. It's less than a week turnaround. So yeah, I guess that'd be what I would do. Who asked that? Automatic Beats. Yeah, I'd probably go in KS5L if I knew what Caspa was and I was okay with it. So because even if the hash rate doubles, because right now it's at mining pool stats. Oh, what is it? Mining pool stats.stream. Here we go. So Caspa, yeah, it's 700. So even if that doubles to 1.4 exahash, so that means the profitability is cut in half if Caspa price stays the same, which right now it's down. You're still making $210 a day, or $210 a month. So you're making $8 a day. What is that? $8, $7.50. Yeah, I mean that's still better than the S21 Pro. So, S21 Pro, if the Bitcoin goes up in price, well, I'm guessing Caspa's gonna go up in price then. So, yeah, I'd probably be looking at the KS5Ls. Yep. All right, so I have some messages to catch up on. Was the ban not later? BTC hash rate drop a ton during that time. Yeah, the hash rate dropped. I know Crypto Craig would know exactly when that was. New England Crypto, how you doing? Yeah, all is well. All is well. Can't wait for my kids start school in 2 weeks. I cannot wait. So I don't have to drag them to the container every day. They get a little cranky. So I rather them go back to school and I can go do my own thing. Yeah, New England Crypto. Yeah, I got a hands full. Yep. Endless mining. You hustling late? Yes. Well, this is the first time I've done a live stream at night on my computer. So I can't really do it with the container anymore because I didn't realize that my voice was coming through the phone. I thought it was coming through my earbuds. So I can't do lives from the container anymore. So, and my kids are there, so I can't record like I used to. So I just did this, and we'll see how this goes, and maybe I'll do more of these. Just life with 3 kids is intense. New England Crypto. I think I told you this, but I mentioned this many times. Being outnumbered is awful. Being outnumbered is awful. So when you have 2 kids, your wife can take one and you can take the other, and you guys are good. You just take your get one ready and get them done, and you guys can meet at the end. When there's 3. Who's taking the 2 and who's taking the 1, and it becomes a mess. So being outnumbered is not fun. So I'm there. I have 3 kids, and I'm past the stage of where you really have to keep an eye on them. So thankfully, yeah, being outnumbered is the worst, guys. Oh, So I think I've been live for an hour and 6 minutes. I don't it doesn't say how many people are here. I think it says, I think it's 19. Like I said, I've never used this before. 19, 20. Yeah. But any other questions, guys? I'm late. Everyone else probably wants to go to bed. I was gonna relax a little bit and go to bed myself. But any other questions you guys got? You got 5 fully electric? Whew. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. My youngest, the princess, she's very, very demanding. So yeah, the other 2 are okay. We got to the point where now they can kind of take care of themselves. But that third one, she's demanding. I get 2 and getting that snip soon. So I get snip. It best thing ever. Do it. Yeah. Actually, funny story about that. So the number one day for people to get snipped, for guys to get snipped, is the Wednesday before March Madness. So they get snipped on the Wednesday, then they sit on their butt all weekend because you need a long weekend just to recover, get back to normal. So that Wednesday before March Madness is the number one day every year for guys getting snipped. So I heard that or read that somewhere. That's pretty funny. Crypto. So what's next? Just filling up and operating efficiently. Exactly. That's the number one goal right now. That's the only thing we're worried about right now is filling up, and then when we're running these little snafus or little issues that we need to fix or correct. That's the number one thing we're worried about. So that's all we're caring about right now. 27, like 20 minutes ago. Yes. Late? Nah, it's almost 5 a.m. here. So early, I would say. Game of Smokey Dan. So yeah. So you're in England. Yeah. Fully electric. I had her do it. Yeah. I get. She's okay with it, but yeah, I got snipped. That was my promise. I'll get taken care of after number 3. So. No, tell me about your ball skin cut. No, it's not. I'm not going into personal stories. I had a friend that got snipped and had a kid the next year. Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be bad. I don't know anyone that's done that. But yeah, that'd be a bad thing. Yep. Correct. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you're in England. Okay, guys. Well, I think we've got off topic here, so I think that means it's time to go. So I appreciate everyone checking this out. In my in the description, I'll put it here. My email. So if you guys are thinking about hosting, give me an email. contact@iowamining.io, and just contact me, and we'll just talk about it and see what's best for you. If you have specific questions, the one thing I can offer is you guys have my cell phone. So if you're hosting with me, you have my cell phone, and we can chat, we can talk. If we have issues, I can text you and call you. And so pretty much all my clients, we don't talk every day, but we talk every couple of days, just about different things and different stuff going on. So that's the one thing I can offer, is just to be in being personable to you and making sure this works as well as it can. And my only goal is to keep you up and running, because then that means you're happy. And then if you're up and running, that means I'm happy. So let me catch up. I had 4 girls and got snipped. One to boy so bad that he had a boy his 5th after snipped. Well, at least he had the boy that he wanted. Okay, guys. Good night. On my beats. Screw you. I don't know who that is. But yeah. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for checking out the stream. You guys have a good night.